And she's like, oh, I'll wear my tie-dye.
Is that how I said it?
If I'm doing Olivia's voice.
Oh, my tie-dye.
That's literally what I have on.
Oh. I know the shirt on my floor. I'll wear it.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 3.
Season 2, episode 3.
How to gain muscle.
How to get big.
How to not be a skinny boy.
Oh my god. How not to look like Machine Gun Kelly. How not to look like Machine Gun Kelly.
How not to look like Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh!
Don't. You know he's listening. Stop.
I'm gonna spit kill shot word for word. I love you, Eminem.
Oh, I know. Ooh, don't say that MGK is even close to Eminem in front of Olivia.
Because it's not true.
Like,
Anyone with an IQ above 5 can see that. Look, Machine Gun Kelly killed the pink outfit.
Thank you.
He killed it.
I feel like you're talking to me. You're
But he's a ghost because Eminem has already killed him.
1, 2, 3. Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Season 2, episode 3.
3 episodes in season 2 already. Where's the time gone?
We're here to tell you guys a little bit about muscle gaining and how easy it is for those skinny boys listening and for us women as well.
Definitely that one. Absolutely
we
that
want to
one.
give you guys some tips today. We have a lot of good information, so keep listening and you're going to get all the tea on muscle gain.
All the protein shakes on muscle gain. Thanks. I feel like you just complimented. That was a good one. Thanks.
Make sure to like it. By the way, since we're talking about liking, that was a smooth intro, Olivia. You're so good at this.
Thanks. I've been doing this for 10
Don't
minutes.
forget to like and subscribe our page. We are new and upcoming. We do have season 1 on Anchor. We'll put the link at the bottom. But please don't forget to like and subscribe. That's how we get more views. And if you have any questions, you want to know about fitness or health, mention it in the comments.
True. I would never remember to say that if it weren't for you, so thank you so much.
You had smooth intro. That was good.
I forgot what I said already.
That's really good.
Anyways, there's 8 shots of espresso in this cup I have right here, so today's gonna be lit. I do think it's as important, if not more important, than our fat loss episode, and I think a lot of the concepts are gonna be the same or similar. So it's kind of, they go hand in hand. You know, I feel like, I don't know, I could speak for both of us, but I have a lot of people come to me for fat loss goals, obviously, and I also have a lot of people come to me saying, I wanna get strong, I wanna build muscle, whether it be like a physique or a functional strength goal, right?
Most clients are in one or the other. You're
Right.
trying to gain or you're trying to lose.
It's that simple. Have you ever had someone come to you and be like, I wanna stay exactly the same? I just have a giant crush on
That
you.
doesn't happen.
I know. So anyways, we're basically covering the other topic of that today. It's gonna be great. I feel like the episode could be over in 5 minutes because I'm just gonna say, eat your calories. Just as the fat loss episode was focused on stop eating so much, eat your calories. If you're trying to gain, number one, chances are if you're trying to gain and you're having a problem with it, if you're truly trying to gain and you're truly trying to get the food in, chances are you're a very active individual. Because likely, with all of the hyper palatable, hyper accessible food we have nowadays, it's really not that hard to get your calories in unless you have an extremely high basal metabolic rate, resting metabolic rate, whatever you want to call it, and then you're required to eat like 7,000 a day to gain. That's difficult. I'm not going to discount that at all. That's hard. That's hard work. So chances are, if you're listening to this saying like, okay, I've had, you know, issues gaining in the past, you're probably very active, in which case I feel your pain. This will definitely help you. There are ways you can go about that.
So basically what she's saying is you have to be in a surplus.
You do. You have to be in a calorie surplus in order to be gaining muscle, gaining body fat. And yes, there is a way to make that go more in your favor. We'll get into all that. It'll be good. So hard rule, eat enough food.
Surplus, number 1.
Surplus.
Check.
Eat more food than you're burning. Do the opposite of what everybody trying to lose weight is doing. And that doesn't mean give up all your physical activity and stop lifting, because we'll talk about that. You'll go more into that later. But lifting, this goes hand in hand. So lift the weights, eat the food.
Get the gains.
On the top. You're so smooth. I mean, how smooth is this espresso right here? I mean, what? But
so let's talk about like the type of foods they should, like, what do you mean calories?
Exactly.
Like let's break that down. Like, what are the better ones?
Yep.
What type of carbs? What kind of supplements, things like that. Like, let's talk about that.
So the best thing I can say is that if you're eating enough food and you're lifting the weights and you're doing the work, chances are you should be fine, but it's not optimal no matter what you want to eat, right? So carbs are king. I just love my carbs, and so I'm just gonna brag on carbs for a little bit.
They're a great energy source.
Yes, they are. And what we mean by energy source, I mean, all calories are good energy, but carbs specifically store themselves in your muscle bellies as glycogen. Glycogen is what you use when you're lifting weights. So if you want to optimize your food to fuel your weights, to get the best workout as you can, eat the carbs. They're also a great post-workout source. We do this all the time. I mean, ask us, like, we'll get done with a workout, and just as glycogen is depleted from your system after your lift or after you do high intensity things, you need to be replenishing that. You need to be fueling those muscles you just broke down. And what's a great way to do that? Carbohydrates.
So I would always say, like, if you have a sweet tooth, or you just need something to kind of get you through the day, you're like, oh, I've been craving this, I've been craving that. Post-workout would be the time to do it. Mm-hmm. It really would. It does help replenish what you just lost in the gym.
Yep. They'll get put to good use. And that being said, there are different types of carbohydrates. I know you're probably thinking, well, you know, carbs, like, what does that mean? Does that mean just pure rice? Does that mean candy? Does that mean, okay, so what we're gonna talk about again is simple carbs versus complex carbohydrates. So they're different. Simple carbohydrates are your cakes, cookies, candy, sweet. It's like, you know, in all these studies we've been looking over this past week and ready for this episode, we're seeing that a lot of the tests that were done for, you know, Science Journal articles and all this, they were measuring carbohydrate intake via like sugar juices. That would be a simple carbohydrate. That's important to note. Those things can be used right away. So they're often quick energy right away, like you're gonna go kick someone's ass and then come back and crash. Complex carbohydrates burn slower. They give you more sustainable energy throughout a longer period of time. So you really could go either way depending on what activity you're doing. Obviously, I'm not saying like eat a cake. Like, this is all in moderation, keep in mind. Like,
so the amount that you would want to do. So I know that when I was on an off season for one of my preps, I was only allowed to have 25 grams of carbs, like of candy afterwards. So that's really a fun size, just put it in like perspective, a fun size Rice Krispie is about 25 grams of like carbs.
Yeah, simple carbs.
It's not a lot. And I'm 5'11", like 175-ish, 180. So for me, I mean, I'm like a small man maybe.
Yeah.
So like,
well,
guys can get away.
Lately medium-sized man, let's be real.
Small man, sure. Most guys can get away with more, so maybe like a full Rice Krispie treat would probably be like a great, if you wanted to go simple carb, an option for you. And girls, you're gonna have to go a little bit smaller.
At least to start out. You know, you can always adjust, and we obviously mean that. I just feel like we did clarify.
That goes off of your calorie goals.
Yeah.
But most people who even can have a lot of carbs, depending if you want sugar, you're not gonna be able to have like 60 grams. Like, that's probably a bit for a post-workout, unless you're doing like powerlifting for 3 hours.
Right, the more intense it is, the more you can do post-workout. So keep that in mind. Right. So carbs and your workout go hand in hand. You want the carbs to be able to push you to that limit, and you also want to work out so you can have more afterwards. Like, it's really a give and take here. So
it's like why I work out.
Checks and balances. Deadlifts and crumble cookies.
Yes, they go together.
Deadlifts and dirty dough.
I haven't had that yet.
I literally ordered.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
No, tell them.
I did. So last time in the podcast we were talking about cookies, and she's like, "Oh, I want one." I was like, "Okay," like thinking it's a craving. No, this girl like went to the bathroom and came back, and she's like, "All right, we're gonna have cookies here in like 15 minutes." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I just ordered them." I was like, "What?" So I did get to taste some
dirty dough.
Dirty dough. They were good.
Just
honestly though, her mom.
Oh my god.
Side note, let's talk about.
Hey Jennifer.
She makes the best. Like, I'm not lying. Hands down, probably the best cookie I've ever tasted.
No, she really does. Like, it's.
On a Friday night, I just made some cookies and they were amazing. They changed my life. So
I think I had like 7, to be honest.
Oh, if she was my mom growing up, I would have not gotten into fitness.
Can we all be proud of me for a hot second? Can we be proud of me for getting to fitness? Like, wow, I really overcame some real obstacles there. That frosting though, come on.
I know.
Anyway.
Side note.
Thank you, Jennifer, for the cookies, but also,
amazing.
You know, watch it a little bit. You know, so checks and balances here. We're talking about It's not like I went for a walk with my dog, I'm gonna go get 4 dirty does right now.
No.
Personal
Not like
experience.
that.
Don't do
You'll
that.
notice real quick that doesn't work out.
Don't be like me. So glycogen stored in the muscles, you want to be replenishing that. That's what's going to help you grow, right? So every time you use that glycogen and replenish it, you're on the right track. So eat the carbs, also eat the protein. Carbs and protein work really well together. Protein is going to maintain and help kind of repair, give recovery to repair those tears as well. So a good like carb protein combination is really, really ideal and optimal for some recovery. Yeah, exactly. So we're joking about the cookies and like we really do this sometimes, often. But we also like for the most part, back to like practicing what we preach, like we really do for the most part really stick to like good carbs, good protein sources, and we get it done. It's good shit. So
It's a good combo.
yeah. Anything you want to add to the
No.
carb protein?
No, we got it all.
Okay.
You covered everything. I don't need to comment.
Oh, I have more, but that's like all the food, you know, I'm kind of on a food tangent and I'm getting hungry again. So I really like can't be all that. So, you know, oh, let's talk about keto really quick.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna, well, I am, but everyone knows I hate keto. But if I'm being real, like I don't even want to say like you can build muscles on keto because I haven't personally seen it happen ever. I know people who are on keto and who have not built muscle, and I know people who say they're on keto and are lying. So I mean, hey, come talk to me if you've built muscle on keto. I know that they're out there. I just don't know anyone personally. The reason being,
It's more difficult.
it's very difficult. You don't have that same glycogen store. What happens is your body tries to pull energy from other sources, fat and protein being the only other 2 options. Protein is a last resort for your body, so you're really going to be burning when you're burning your muscles, if you're trying to gain muscle, why would you be doing that anyway?
Right.
Fat isn't optimal for things like lifting weights. It's good for things like I'm going to walk from here to Flagstaff. Good, that's slow. You can use fat for that. It's fat burning mode, you know. It's not the same. It's not optimal. You could do it, but good luck.
It's not the best route to do. So
No.
If you're really trying to be like a hard gainer or take your body to that next level,
Right.
Stay away from like those types of diets.
I just personally feel like if you're really trying to put on muscle, I don't know anyone personally, any athlete personally who would say, yeah, low carb's probably my best option here. It's to athletes, that's a no-brainer. To the general public, it's kind of like it's a buzzword. Keto's like oh, I'll look shredded. Well, yes, but those people lose muscle in the process. So if that's your goal, great, do it. If not, try eating some carbs. Another reason that isn't ideal is because there is a higher level of nitrogen excretion while on keto. Nitrogen is a component of amino acids, which is the building block of protein. When you're losing nitrogen at that higher of a rate, it is assumed that you are also losing muscle and breaking that down as well. And there have been a couple studies out that have shown that people on keto, when equated with a high carbohydrate diet, have lost a greater amount of nitrogen. And you don't want that if you're trying to gain. Again, I'm not judging. If you want to shred, go for it. I know plenty of people who've gotten shredded on keto. It's teach their own, right? So if you're trying to gain, eat carbs as well.
I think a huge myth that clients come to me is, well, I wasn't sore, so I'm clearly not getting a good workout from you. Or I'm so sore that my body's just deteriorating.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not doing very good. So I kind of want to take the sore equals grow. Like, does soreness equal growth in muscle gain? So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on a little bit today. And I think the first thing that we should go over is what is DOMS.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to just say what DOMS is?
Delayed onset muscle soreness is DOMS. So from now on, whenever we say DOMS, we're not talking about like a creepy ex. We're talking about delayed onset muscle soreness, which is not key. And she'll explain why.
Right.
I'll go on that.
What is DOMS? So delayed onset muscle soreness is basically the response to the micro tears in the muscle. So when you're working out, you're actually not building, which a lot of people don't know this. And I think my clients are always like, huh? I'm like, yeah, like you're actually building outside of here. And we'll get into that more, but it's basically through recovery that your muscle grows. Surplus,
it's like
recovery.
Cue panic mode whenever they hear that too.
Don't freak out.
It's a good thing. You know,
It is very
workouts
good.
are still good. here's why.
So while you're in there, you're actually tearing the muscle down. And you can think about that. You're stretching, breaking it down, going to failure. Like obviously the muscle is going to its peak. So that's one thing I think a lot of people question. They're like, well, what, I'm not sorted out. So the 3 mechanisms of muscle growth are these 3 things. Mechanical tension, like on the muscle, metabolic stress, and then muscle damage. So those 3 things right there are going to give you the muscle growth that we were talking about. I feel like there are difference, and you can come on this too.
Yeah.
There's difference in like shoulder soreness and like leg soreness.
Absolutely. Oh boy, I'm triggered. So first of all, why do you think that guys never lift legs? I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't know this.
No, it's just because it's worse soreness and they can't handle it.
That's
but
true.
like, after how do you feel after a hard leg workout?
When was the last time you got your shoulders really sore?
Destroyed.
Like,
yeah.
That doesn't happen very often. So there are different types of muscle sorenesses that you need to be aware of. Like, there's going to be different muscle soreness levels in different muscle groups. So think about that. And then I think another really good example is if you have, like, I don't run. When was the last time you went on a run?
To be honest, I was like about
She does cardio.
It was prescribed. I'm in prep.
Oh, that's true.
I'm happy. So I was like about to make fun of running, and I'm like, literally yesterday.
Gross.
I can't even
When
try.
was the last time you went running though?
Yesterday.
Are you sore today?
No, but after the first time I went running in a long time, I was.
That's what I want to talk about.
Oh.
That doesn't have any resistance training yet. She was sore. So was there muscle growth when she went on a run?
No.
No. So hopefully like these common sense, and you don't think about it that way. Why would you?
Right.
You're just the average Joe going to the gym, getting your gains on, So it's
that
like,
was so savage.
it's true though. Like,
No, I know.
what up, Joe?
What up, Joe? Average ass
Joe.
I'm so sorry I'm so sorry. Okay. No more espresso for Olivia at
If you're Joe,
10 p.m.
comment below. And be
Joe,
like,
I'm so sorry.
That's me. So I want to also touch on like, okay, let's say you're sore. Like right now, I had the worst day at the gym. So I went to the gym and I did legs on Monday, and I'm still sore
From Monday.
today.
Right.
And it's Wednesday. It's not that I didn't do a good job, but like, is it beneficial to be lifting the muscle group that's still sore?
That's a great
Isn't that a
question,
good
Steely.
question? So going through 3 major points when you're discussing this, it's going to reduce the activation. If the muscle is sore, how is it going to activate properly when it's
It's torn.
It's missing pieces. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yep.
Exactly. 2, when you're thinking about lifting and if you're still sore, you have to think about if it reduces the force capacity. So that right there, I think, is a huge contributor to trying to gain muscle. It's not going to work.
Right. And like an example of this, like just, for the average Joe. Sorry. No more. Don't let me eat espresso. Just like eat
That's
espresso.
me when I go on like my natural rant. I'm like,
I'm like hot right now. Okay. Like, jeez. Okay. An example of this would be, I have we'll use like the skinny boy example, right? He comes in, he's still sore from Monday. It's Tuesday, right? He's like, well, I want to work biceps again. Unless you're an absolute stud, you're not going to lift the same or better as you did yesterday if you're sore. And you're not going to lift the same or better amount of reps.
no way. No way.
Form, no.
And we're not talking like a little bit of soreness.
Yeah, we're talking about DOMs,
Like
right?
my legs right now, like hurt. I did something not the best, probably. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and I was supposed to go in and I was like, oh, I'll just do hamstrings. I went in there and I had the worst lifting day today. I literally just went in there and I was like, let's just do shoulders. Like,
And you're just crying your way
it
through
was
shoulders.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to counts, but I had a chicken breast afterwards because I had no energy. I didn't use anything in the gym.
Oh, she did not get that crumble cookie
I didn't
today.
get it because I
No.
didn't work for it. I was like, I rather would have just sat at home. Like, I did not do
Just
that.
have a recovery day instead.
Yes,
Yeah.
I should have.
Yeah.
I literally sat in the car and I thought, should I just recover? And I'm being stubborn. And I was like, no, I got this. I went in there and had the worst workout. Like, but I did it.
Right, but this is kind of also like question for you, I guess. Like, this is so when you see those people that are like, no days off, bro, some days off.
It's not, yeah. I think that like,
Take some days off.
my body is just so used to going that when I don't go, it's like, what? like my body doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so it was literally just out of habit today.
Right.
And Wednesdays are my day off, and I didn't even want to go. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's the days that you go and you have the most fun.
And then sometimes that's actually not true. And sometimes that's just an inspirational Instagram quote.
True.
So,
True.
you know, not real.
I think a good thing about being sore, though, will show you what muscles work properly.
Yep.
And as I said, my legs are killing me. I needed more quad, that's what I got, but man, did I overload it. Like, I just went a little bit too low. I know exactly what I did. So reassess kind of what you did after that soreness, because you're gonna look at yourself and be like, I did shoulders, why is my chest hurting? That's the problem. Yeah. We did something wrong there. So I think that's a really good sign that you can just, anybody
Absolutely.
can go off of.
Yeah. And you probably do the same thing. I'll ask my clients like, hey, what's sore today? You know, it kind of lets me know, okay, what do we need to work on? What didn't get sore? What do we need to push harder on? What do we need to back off of a little bit?
Yep.
You know, it's kind of like you said, it shows you where your strengths and where your weaknesses are. So it is a good, I mean, there are some benefits to being sore. And I think anytime, you definitely will agree with this, but anytime you start a new regimen, you'll be sore because it's a new movement.
You bet you should be.
You should be. Yeah. You should be when it's new.
Absolutely.
I feel like it just happens. Like, you don't even have to try.
No.
You just hurt.
I think that's something that people might, here's like a little fitness tip, I guess. If you are finding yourself in a plateau, you're not getting sore, and you're not progressing like in weight, like we need to adjust something. So maybe you can take the same movements, and this is just one example of many other ones that you could do, but you could try eccentric lifting.
Yep.
So if I was doing a bicep curl, I would come up on a count of 1 and then go down on a count of 3 or 5, depending how hard you want to make it, up to 10, and then go back up and do those 10 reps with the same weight. And you're going to notice it's a lot harder to do, and you're recruiting every single fiber in that muscle.
It's difficult. I tend to not want to do that often.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're brave.
If it's my second muscle group for that week, then I'll probably do like eccentric.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So like if you've hit shoulders Monday and you want to hit shoulders again Thursday, like why not? You know, try it out. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that's another, so we're also going to talk a little bit about like recovery, and I know that she kind of touched on it with like carbohydrates, but I want to talk about like from the muscle soreness like point of view, kind of like recovery.
Right. It's key.
What muscle soreness is, it's injured cells, and they're trying to repair themselves. So that's why you have like that lactic acid buildup and the I can't walk, I can't sit kind of movement. Like they're injured, like you need to repair them. And I think a really good way to remember to do that is through hydration, through your food, through sleep. I think sleep, if you had a bad night of sleeping, it's better just not to go to the gym. I really, like, again, last night
I love what you're saying right now.
Literally everything I'm like talking about, I did today. Like,
I know, I feel like I want you to know that I feel like the most hypocritical. I feel like I deserve to be like, Olivia exposed. Yeah. Like, Olivia didn't sleep either. Aha! Olivia ate cookies today.
Yeah, it's like everything I'm saying, I'm like, I didn't go to the gym. I shouldn't have gone. I'm so sore. I slept horrible. And it shows. And, you know, it shows. And I was like, oh, well, tomorrow I'll be resting. Well, no, today was supposed to be. Like, I'm so mad at myself for that. So,
don't be.
I'll go tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway.
We'll see.
I think a great way to realize that you can minimize the damage is actually through flexibility.
Yeah.
So if your muscles are more flexible, you're probably not going to be straining them as much, versus you won't be tearing them as much. So that was another point that I had.
Yeah, I feel like this plays into our mobility episode last week. Like, it's like, this is all a part of, it's like pieces of a whole. You need all of this. On the topic of recovery, when a client comes to me and is constantly complaining of soreness, and we have been in the gym, this isn't their first time, it's a repeat client, like they should be okay by now. What it tells me is they're not hydrating, they're not eating, they're not taking care of their body, they're not sleeping.
They ain't listening to, she has to say.
They ain't doing their job. At all. So.
It's a giveaway.
Right. And I also have a lot of people get mad when they stop getting sore, and I'm like, but do you know what progressive overload is? Do they know what progressive overload is? Have we talked about that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about it. So, you know the story of Milo, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right? Okay. Long story short, because this is gonna be like another 10-minute tangent, and too much espresso. We're gonna talk about like my feelings and stuff. It's just not gonna be a thing.
We're not
No,
talking
no.
about
That's
feelings.
next week, of course. What are we? Come on, get it together. Milo from, I don't know how you say his home island. It's either crouton or croton, but I don't know. So I'm not gonna say it again, but it's one of those two things.
Completely different words.
But his name is Milo. It might be Milo, but we're not gonna do that today. Anyway, so the myth goes that he's this little boy with a baby calf, and he carries the calf every day, and he grows up, and so does the calf, and he gets stronger. So it's like, do the same thing, do it again, repeatedly, always, but better than before, and you're gonna get stronger. Do you think he was sore every day? No, because he was probably drinking his water.
Oh my gosh.
What would Milo from Croton do?
He was using his glutamine supplements.
Yeah, we supplementing with glutamine.
We could talk about supplements.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I use,
Yeah, what do you, let's talk about what each of us use.
I don't use much.
We're really short on though.
I use glutamine. There we go. I use 5 milligrams. I use 10 milligrams in a protein drink before I work out. Still not the best. Optimally, if you were to do it, you would do like have a sip before, so it's in your system, drink it during your workout, and then smash the rest of the drink when you walk out the door. That never happens for me.
That's what I do with crumble cookies.
Crumble.
Just kidding.
What about you? What do you use for? You always do a
To be
protein
honest.
shake.
Yeah, oh yes. Okay, so I do
I
supplement with
answered
protein.
your question.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even consider that like recovery.
It is though.
I know, and I do forget that that's not like a normal thing. I've been drinking protein shakes like once or twice a day for almost 10 years. So like to me, that's just my food.
Yeah.
Like I don't, but yes, I do supplement with protein. Love that. I eat carbs. I do, okay, so I used to take glutamine and I used to do BCAAs and I don't anymore because I don't feel like it does as much for me anymore as it used to.
Research has shown that too.
Correct. Another thing that I literally use this. So I do use a couple supplements. I totally just was reminded of what I use. I do use melatonin, and that is, don't make sassy comments. Melatonin is absolutely a recovery supplement because if you have sleep problems like me, as I have 8 shots of espresso sitting in front of me.
She's caffeine. Too much caffeine is also a sign that you're not recovering properly. Just need to throw that out there. Put
Okay,
a disclaimer
Mom.
at the bottom.
Don't be like
how
Olivia.
much melatonin do you take personally? Because I take it too,
Oh.
and I'm interested.
You take it what? Oh,
also-
I'm scared. Okay, so I'm a big baby when it comes to anything like alcohol, the marijuanas. Olivia can't handle it. No, absolutely. Listen, it's legal at this point. It's 2020. It's already been a horrible year. Just
The
arrest me now. The
marijuanas?
marijuanas.
My mom.
Oh, I know. That's the point. It's a joke. I'm a mom. Okay. I'm a big baby. Like anything will just put me on my butt. And that's it. That's all.
Man, I am
TKO.
not.
Yeah, I'm a big baby, so I don't like anything like a depressant or whatever, and that goes for sleeping medication, that goes for anything. Like I need like a quarter of a dose, and I'm asleep for like 10 hours. Like it's bad. So for melatonin, I literally take half of a 5 milligram,
Oh wow.
and it works.
Okay, so I'm up to 30.
Milligrams?
This is so different. I didn't know that. And so the first day I took 5. I took 5 and I slept and I didn't see a difference. And I took 10 and didn't see a difference.
I took 5 and slept through my alarm,
That is crazy to me.
so we don't do that
That
anymore.
is so crazy.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
I don't sleep at all.
So I also like, okay, let's talk about sleep really quick. Sleep tangent because it's relevant and because
Melatonin,
we can. When you don't sleep, like what are your symptoms? Like for example, like I will like I will literally wind down, get ready for bed, like have my routine, I'll put my phone away early, I'll fall asleep. Right?
Who
No.
does
Oh no,
that?
it gets worse. This is how we're probably gonna be different. I fall asleep, whatever, 11 or midnight, that's early for me. I will wake up at 2 a.m., bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like ready to go for the day. Cannot fall back asleep. So like if I'm up at 2 a.m., I'm up.
We have such different lives. I have the complete opposite.
Right, that's why I was
issue.
like, I was interested. I'm like, tell
Okay,
me.
so my sleep patterns they have been off for a long time, and I have been trying to eliminate and figure out what it is, and I cannot figure it out. And I'm supposed to do a sleep study, but I'm like, Like I could probably get all my answers there, but I'm just not into it. So whatever. I want to find it naturally. Like I want to be like, okay,
with 30 milligrams of melatonin straight to the brain.
pretty much. So every night I go to bed, I have a really hard time getting to sleep. And the minute I wake up, whether it's 9 hours or 4 hours, I feel like I didn't get anything.
Oh, that's horrible. That's
My
horrible.
life is like that. I wake up every day. The first thing I think of, no lie, is when can I take a nap?
Me too.
That's my first thought. I wake up at like 8. I wake up at 5:30. I'll wake up on the weekend, and the first thing is, what time should I take a nap today? Like that's my first thought of the day. Then I usually am exhausted. It's so sad. And I've tried iron levels, and they worked for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'll train like 4 or 5 clients, and it'll be like 11 or 12, and I'll be exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I'll be to the point where like
That's where we're the same.
I can't keep my eyes open, and I have to sleep. And there will be times I'm to the point right now in this week that I can take 20-minute naps, and I'm okay. And that's what I wanted to stay at. But there's a lot of times where I'll fall asleep for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And I am out.
Me too.
And
So that's where we're the same. Like our sleep, like falling asleep and staying asleep, we're completely different.
like midday,
Yeah.
I'm not responding.
Yeah, same. Like if I have time, and exactly. So same. So if I have time for a nap, I'll do it, right? And I wake up at 2 a.m. or whenever the F I decide to wake up. Thanks, body. And don't dare comment about caffeine because I've tried that already and it doesn't work. So I'm gonna enjoy my day while I'm awake. It doesn't work. I cut caffeine out, guess what? Same thing happened. So no thanks. I'll be happy in my day. Very much.
There was a time during quarantine that I had gotten my iron levels. I was talking to like this pharmacist, and he was telling me, he's like, well, you should try this, you should try that. And I was like, I don't know. And I tried iron, and I felt like I had a fat burner in me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I woke up and I was like,
Energized,
let's go. Like I'm going to the gym. I'd hit 2 a day. Didn't need a nap. And I was like, what the heck? And then recently it has just like came back down, and I'm not sure. And I went to my doctor and I got prescribed iron pills. The same thing you can get in the grocery store.
Right.
Like, it's literally the same thing. Not worth it. And I really haven't seen much difference. So
Really?
I'm always open now.
We're gonna tackle that this week. Like sidebar, we're gonna tackle that. We're gonna get to the bottom of our sleep habits because this is so freaking important for recovery and like just general well-being. Like sleep, please. You know. But I have been kind of reading on things that can help with sleep, like some magnesium, which is also on.
I
like,
just bought
yeah.
some.
Okay,
I'm
so
trying.
try it
Like
out.
I'm
Yeah,
always
try it
trying.
out. Hit Matt up. See what he does for sleep. He was like, I was leaving the gym last night, and our owner was like chugging some weird like beverage, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "This is my sleeping pill." And I was like, "What is it?" It was like magnesium, like a bunch of ZMAs, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go take 2 milligrams of melatonin and pass out. Goodbye." But you should hit him up and see what he's doing. It'd be cool. We'll get back to you all on our sleeping habits, but you know. So I am taking melatonin. Other supplements I take: creatine monohydrate. Love me some creatine. We love creatine.
Wait a minute. The
Oh.
girls heard creatine. Aren't they gonna think that that's?
I look like a man.
Yeah. Aren't they gonna think that's a huge muscle builder?
Well, first of all, Becky, this is a muscle building podcast.
That's true. But
So-
if a woman takes creatine,
No,
why
you're
do
not going to
glasses?
turn into a man. You might.
It doesn't have any testosterone in it.
But just like people building muscle on keto, I haven't seen it yet. So
It is safe for women to take. You just have to
Absolutely.
take smaller dosages, and you can take
Yeah.
it every single day. And you
I
might,
take 5 milligrams a day.
Yeah, you might see a little bit of water retention. You might not.
Wait, 5 grams a day. 5 grams a day. 5 grams.
5 grams.
5 grams, not 5 milligrams. I'm sorry.
She's subtle. She said that.
I'm very sensitive, okay? What's really funny is that I'm not sensitive to things like, this is gonna sound bad. Please don't read into this. I'm not sensitive to like uppers. So like I could go with caffeine. Like I'll probably pass out after this, to be honest, because I'm so sleep deprived. I'll probably just fall asleep. But that stuff, nah, it's fine. Any sort of downer, I'm like done. So I have to be careful with all the supplements.
It doesn't
like,
work for me.
Yeah, I have to like look into all these supplements and see like, okay, how does this affect people? Like, yeah, it might help me recover, but like, will I be sleeping for 4 days? You know?
I mean, I'm all for plants, so that's something that I do on a
Yeah.
regular basis. I
Yeah,
feel like
I can't.
I mean, I did that today. I took a downer, and I don't feel anything.
Right. That's awesome.
I'm trying to.
I feel like we're
calm
the
my nerves.
opposite.
I'm trying to I try to relax at night, and I
Yeah.
try to get rid of anxiety or anything that I'm dealing with, and I try to take a downer plant, and it kind of works.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like, I'd rather feel up though, like at 10 o'clock at night. Like, I don't want to feel like,
Yeah, like you're over here. Like, no, nobody wants to feel like that.
So everyone has their own ways of dealing with sleep. for
Right.
sure.
And just, I mean, I feel like everyone needs to try out their own, supplements as well. And I feel like I've said this already, but I'll say it again just in case. Like, we have these studies on hand for all these supplements that we're recommending. So I definitely don't want to recommend anything without being sure about the data behind it. So if you need information about anything, definitely message us, and I can literally just send you the Science Journal article about it. There's several on each of these. So it's not like I'm just finding one article that's yeah, this could help muscles. And I'm yes, they're probably right. No, I have several and everything. So we both do, and we'll be more than happy to give you that if you would like to read it in your free time while you're trying to put yourself to sleep. One other thing that I do take is citrulline in my pre-workouts and intra-workouts.
That helps with your recovery.
Yeah, it's been shown to help retain muscle. So if you happen to, so there are going to be days, just like in fat loss, there will be days where you don't hit as high of calories as you wanted to hit. And certain supplements are shown to not necessarily build muscle, but rather maintain what you've already built. And those can be helpful as well. It's take these because they're going to be supporting what you have.
So this is a question. So I know citrulline opens up the blood vessels, but it also helps recover
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm. So I have a couple of studies on that. Citrulline, things like beta-ine, things like beta-alanine, BCAAs even. That's a little controversial. I don't personally take them. I mean, if you listen to our podcast on food or nutrition, anything we talk about, just eat your protein and you'll be fine.
Whole foods are always better.
Yeah, don't take your food in supplements if you can help it at all, but supplements like that. So again, just hit us up if you want any of the resources. We have everything for them, so you'll be good.
That sums up our episode 3. Don't forget to like and subscribe at the bottom.
If you're not too sore.
There. Yeah, if you're not too sore, you can lift your arm up. Like and subscribe. That's how we're going to get more information out to you guys. And if you really want to find out, we do upload every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also click onto the notifications.
Please do it.
Thank you.
We love you, and we love your muscles. Take
Next
care, everyone.
week.
Next week. My foot's asleep.
I don't like calf hurt. My elbow is done. How not to look like Machine Gun Kelly.